With Farm Industry News, we have decided we're going to jump ahead and do video. It fits our niche in the marketplace. We're a new products and technology magazine, so we do a lot at John Deere type introductions. We go to the National Farm Machinery Show and cover that heavily. So we felt like we could do this better on video and maybe reach a younger market and gain some visibility and maybe jump ahead of some of our competition out there. So we launched what we call Fin TV. Fin is for Farm Industry News, and we've hired a professional cameraman and a videographer who edits our video. And we've had our first go at this during the National Farm Machinery Show, when I think we produced close to 20 video clips that range from 3 to 5 minutes each. We're not certain how many of those our viewers are farmers. What we've learned on our website is we have a high number of hits and viewers, but most of them are not our readers. So we're reaching out to an audience that does not receive our magazine or looking for other information.
The point of interactivity with our users has been the biggest change for us. You know, a few years ago, you know, a website would be a place where all the content would originate, and you would send it out to the readers and they would consume it, and then that would typically be the end of the chain, I guess. Now we sort of see ourselves as sort of on the same level as our users, and sort of, you know, it's sort of this grassroots kind of approach. You know, we want to be on the same plane as them. We want to come up with content that reaches them to the point where they can take it and make a decision, and then come back and tell us how it worked. And we really work hard to foster this sort of environment on the site where guys are talking about and thinking about and reading about things that are important to their bottom line.
From the standpoint of an enthusiast magazine, I think there will always be both room and a preference for the print product. There's something that feels special about getting a magazine in the mail as opposed to going to a website and clicking around. I think there's a sort of an exclusivity, almost like you're a member of a club if you get the magazine.
People want to read a magazine. I think what we hear so much about the print media being so hard hit, to me it's daily newspapers. I see the magazine business still thriving. Now, while our business has consolidated and matured, I think there is still a place for print media.
I think we're on the cusp right now of a lot of change where a lot of ag publications are just waiting for their readership to catch up with their technological abilities to be able to access a lot of the information. I know e-newsletters are the big push right now. I see those exploding more and more, but I think there's going to become a point where there's too many of them and people are going to really have to start to differentiate. But I'm not sure that the average website is going to be what holds in the future. So I think you'll see a lot more of videos going up over the internet, see a lot more kind of new ways to display the newsletters and get into people's email directly and have that more direct-to-person communication and not rely on people to come to you to get the information, but be able to reach out to them.
Farmers are starting to come to the point where they will have internet access on them in their tractor cab anywhere, and it'll be available anywhere in the Midwest. So I think as that comes on and they have high-speed internet access, which they don't have a lot of right now, we will have to be right there providing stuff for them to see while they're sitting around. In fact, maybe even greater as more equipment comes online with that type of capability.
But I think as broadband becomes more common and people become more accustomed to doing more business online, you know, a lot of farmers are starting to use online tools for marketing, and I think it's happening. I think we're getting a lot more web awareness out there in the ag community.
I think as our audience gets younger, and we hope they will continue to get younger, that their delivery preference will change somewhat.
a lot of what you see, the main subscribers typically are kind of that 55-year-old age bracket, but a lot of their children that are in the high school, university years, they're the ones that are leading the charge with the Facebook and starting to set up groups on there. And they're the ones that are usually subscribing to the e-newsletter, and in some cases I know of people who actually will print them off and set them aside for their parents to read. But it seems to be that that's the generation that's adopting the technology, and through them filtering back to the parent generations.
I think particularly from the social networking aspect, that we're going to see the reader become more and more involved in journalism, as sort of the way that it's evolved in the entertainment industry and the news industry with the blogosphere. And in a lot of ways, the readers that we reach in agriculture really are the experts at what they do. So we're really looking forward as editors to having people in this large community share their expertise both with us and with each other. I think it's really exciting.
I think the community aspect of it is really kind of the future. You know, we hear about the notion of Web 2.0 and, you know, user-generated content. And that's sort of the direction we're going with our discussion groups and message boards and interactive features like that. You know, we sort of see ourselves as not necessarily originators of content all the time, but just sort of monitors of it in a sense that, you know, these guys are gonna, the farmers on their end are gonna do the talking, and they're gonna bring up the topics, and we're just gonna be the ones to be there to show, you know, to put some more information in there, whether it's conducting an interview with an extension specialist or something like that, just to give a little more information. And I think that's going to be the future, and even as we move into more video and I guess more bells and whistles online, I still think that user-generated aspect is going to be the future.